What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. Over the last 5 days, Lucid has pulled back a significant amount. So of course, the sentiment has started to turn rather bearish. There is one post I wanted to kind of go over because it does bring up a lot of good, valid questions. And so I wanted to generally answer those. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, let's get right to it. So as you can kind of see, John did post this question. I wish I could respond, but me and John haven't really seen eye to eye in the past. So I blocked him, he's blocked me. So I can't really respond, but a lot of individuals have actually sent me this and some people have actually tagged me in it. But again, I can't really respond. So I'm going to do it in this format. So John posted, I have a question for those investors who blame short sellers for the stock's performance. Why has the stock price not dropped below $1.90? If short sellers are so powerful, why hasn't the stock decreased below this level? So I'll start off with that. And so ultimately, it is a very valid question because it has bounced off of generally that $1.90 to $2 range numerous times over the last 1 year. And it doesn't really matter about Lucid. This can actually be extended to every stock. Every stock has a bottom, and usually whenever Lucid gets to these levels, it is very oversold. So value investors come in, and I've brought up time and time again how big of a difference a little bit of institutional buying does for Lucid. And for the most part, we can look back at when it does get to that $1.90 range and $2 range. This is where institutions do see clearly that there is a certain level of value. And some of that is linked to the technicals, some of that is linked to their actual balance sheet. But at that $1.90 to $2 range, this is where institutions do see value, like with Lucid. So of course that could change down the line. So if Lucid doesn't improve their circumstances, then yeah, that could potentially lower down to $1.50. So $1.50 would be the bottom where institutions do see value. So ultimately, at the end of the day, that's to kind of answer that question. And to kind of more of a side question, I'm one of those investors that do believe that shorts are really influencing the price. And for those of you that don't think that's the case, I don't know what to tell you, because even looking here, for instance, on the 31st, there was 42 million shares being traded, 23 of which were linked to shorting. The day before, it's backwards. So August the 1st, probably they'll correct that, but August the 1st, 63 million shares being overall volume, 38 linked to shorts, 62, and then 40, 75, 43. So on any given day, it's roughly between 30 to probably around 55 to even in some cases 60% of the daily volume is linked to shorting. Even on Friday, given the crazy day that did happen, you had shorts increase 7.53 million shares by the end of the day. 30.05% of the free floats being shorted. And I've kind of vented about this in the past, that there is stocks out there that don't do jack all and they have a lower short percentage. So yes, I'm one of those individuals that largely believes that shorts have some vendetta against the PIF or potentially some members of Lucid's management. That's, in my opinion, the case. But kind of my next point will kind of transition into this. So he goes on to further say, additionally, if nothing seems to help the stock rise, such as increased sales quarter and after quarter and positive developments in like the Uber deal, why do you continue to hold it? If, as you claim, short sellers are responsible for its poor performance, and these positive developments haven't countered their influence, wouldn't it make more sense to sell? So starting off, basically he kind of insinuates that the performance is because of shorts. So there is a clear difference between what happens operationally and the stock price. A lot of people kind of assume that they're the same thing. That is not the case. So whatever shorts do does not affect Lucid's day-to-day actual kind of transactions. So just keep that, they're completely separate. So just wanted to kind of start off by distinguishing that. But I completely do agree the fact that despite even the Uber deal improving quarter over quarter, Lucid does tend to go down. And that, in my opinion, has to do with, at the same time, macro events. A lot of people always bring up Tesla as a good example. And I think this is why a lot of people did get into Lucid, because they wanted to invest in the next Tesla. So night and day difference between when Tesla was starting to ramp up versus now. So Lucid is just having a difficult time, and given COVID and just supply chain issues, demand, it's just things have not really gone according to plan. And ultimately, when it comes down to answering this individual or John's question, it's the difference between a investor and a trader. So a lot of my videos, I go over the day-to-day activity, what's happening like today, what is happening in the next week or several weeks, versus a investor. You might have gotten in, let's say, over the last couple of years, and you have not done anything because you believe in Lucid or any other stock, like you believe in their bigger picture. So that's no different than a very popular stock, Palantir. So I'll bring that up in right here. So a lot of individuals post this saying, hey, if you're a trader, you probably made maybe 5, 10, 15% on this. But if you are a investor, you would have held throughout over the last 1 year, and you'd be at 491%. That is exactly what people and are kind of doing with Lucid. They are truly investing. And yes, Tesla did have obviously a little bit more of an easier time, lower interest rates as they were starting to get going. They had a lot more incentives. The administration also really did help them at the time as well. So Lucid's just having a little bit more of a stickier scenario, but nonetheless, once Lucid does hit profitability, whether that be 2027, 28, 29, possibly even 30, I think analysts are more on the 2030 kind of time frame. But once Lucid does hit profitability, this is where shorts will naturally leave. And even looking at Tesla, so this is Lucid right now, so pulling up Tesla right now, so you can kind of see that their short interest is 2.49%. So shorts have left dramatically. And so yeah, I think in general it's just a waiting game. So yes, I get it. The fact that Lucid has gone down a lot in a short time span really killed the momentum from the Uber deal. But in reality, Lucid is actually improving quarter over quarter and making a lot of good deals. So I think at the end of the day, it is in the ball's in Lucid's court. So they need to continue to execute. And if they flop, then yeah, shorts most likely will continue to pounce all over Lucid. And I don't mean to make excuses for Lucid about this. Like, Lucid has done their fair share of messing up royally, and I've been there to call it. I always give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've been covering Lucid for a very long time, and many times I'm not really the most popular individual because I like to, just like I said, call them out. So if Lucid isn't doing something right, then I say it. So I think Lucid has done some damage, which has really incentivized some level of shorting. But like I said, once profitability does occur, and as long as you are an investor, not a trader, then things should work out. But of course, you do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz. So yeah, what's your viewpoint on these types of things? Do you think that generally it is a good reason just to sell and maybe wait until profitability does occur? Or do you think that, I don't know, what's your kind of general thoughts on that? But one final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people talking about stocks, options, crypto, everything that you ever need in life. Link to that is in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.